hey, since we're talking about gardens and plants and stuff like that, I thought I'd show you some of the stuff in my garden. We have a whole bunch of different plants going on here, and they're all in containers because it's on a driveway, which is no big deal. It kind of makes it where there's more space in our yard, as well as it's harder for bugs to get in there and cause problems with the plants. Some of the plants we have here, we have tomato plants, which have a very distinct leaf to them. Not quite sure you can see that. There you go. Let's see. On the other side of it here, get that shadow out of the way. All right, so we got some tomato plants, and tomato plants are they're really like furry, like fuzzy on the actual stalk. Let me get in there and see if you can see that. See how it's kind of fuzzy in there, right? And as well as we have some bean plants, and these are our bean plants. We planted these probably a week ago. They're just popping out of the surface there. And the bean plants came from this pack of seeds right here. And on the back of the pack of the seeds, it has some information about how deep they should go and what time of year you should plant them, that kind of thing. All of these plants are things that are good for summer, right? Because it's getting hot now. It's gonna only be getting hotter, right? And also there's a bean plant. This one here came up a little later. It's just starting to burst up over the surface. All right, so we got some more tomatoes, more beans, and we got a different tomato plant. This one got planted about 2 weeks before these other smaller ones, so it's bigger, right? And this one here, actually, this is a cherry tomato plant. Instead of those larger tomatoes you would see, this was like little tiny ones. They're kind of like the size of grapes. So there's a couple of varieties. Some are called grape tomatoes, actually. But this one here, where these flowers are, that's what's going to turn into the tomato. And you could see right where I'm pressing, right where my finger is, there's actually a tomato on there. And it starts off green, and as it ripens, it's going to turn red. And there's one over here as well. And they kind of all come on this bunch where they're all in a row. I'll make sure I put up a picture later when they're ready so you guys can see them. So we have tomatoes and beans right now, good for the summer garden. We have one other type of thing in the garden right now, and it is potatoes. And they are, here's a potato, you know, like French fry, right? And the potatoes, you cut them in half. You get like special types of potatoes. You cut them in half and you put them in the ground a little bit, and you add more dirt on top of them as the plants come up, because a potato is a tuber. So the part that you eat is a root vegetable, right? Kind of like how carrots grow underground. They're another tuber. Also, other tubers you'll see at Itchney Tuckney going down the springs. Those are tubers, or surfers like riding in the tube. But as far as food goes, potatoes and carrots are the tubes I'm talking about. But you can see them right. So we can see the potato plants. They are just starting out down there. There's one there. There's two that popped up in here. Oh, never mind. Three that popped up through here. The potato comes up out of the ground. This whole wire cage thing, we add more and more hay to it, and it makes the plant think that the ground is really deep, and it'll keep making more potatoes. And then in about 2 months, we'll pick this wire cage up off of here and dump it on the ground, and it'll be like, look at all these potatoes we have. It's pretty cool for just having a small amount of space. Oh, there was one other type of plant in the garden that I didn't mention yet. And we planted a bunch of them, and this is one of them. It's a pepper plant. So think like bell peppers, right? There's a handful of these. We actually planted little starter plants that they have at like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff. There's also a really great place in town called Standard Feed where they have chickens. If you're out and about and you want to see some baby chickens, that's a great place to get chickens at. And of course, gardens always have issues. Here we have something, one of our pepper plants is already getting something nibbling on it. Looks like some sort of caterpillar or something. I don't see him on there, but if I do, probably best to take him off, right? Because the leaves, that's the thing that makes the sunshine into energy for the plant, and it can't do that if all the leaves are all chewed up, right? And then it can't grow peppers for me in our garden. So yeah, so this is the garden at our house. It works out really well. There's also a couple bins here of smaller potato plants. I'll show you guys those when they get bigger. So yeah, we have some potatoes, some tomatoes, some green beans, and some peppers in the garden right now. That's normally what we do in the summertime when it's so warm. There's different plants you do different times a year, as well as other things we could do in summer, just space, and you got to make some choices about what you want to plant. A lot of times when it's cooler outside, it'll be like lettuce and leafy green vegetables, that kind of stuff, spinach. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Different times of year, different seasons, different things can grow in the garden. All right, well, I hope you guys like seeing my garden and all the cool stuff we have growing out there. There's gonna be some activities posted up with this video for you to work on, and I'm really excited about seeing what you guys come up with this week. All right, bye-bye.